This is the Stockwell Eldridge Show, giving you the real-time information you need to make educated decisions about buying and selling in the world-renowned Twin Cities. Now your hosts and real estate experts, Jason Stockwell and Don Eldridge.
Good morning, Minneapolis, St. Paul. I'm Jason Stockwell, RE/MAX Results.
And I'm Don Eldridge, RE/MAX Results.
Welcome to the Stockwell Eldridge Show every Sunday, 10 a.m. here on AM 1280 The Patriot. We have a great show. More experts in the house here. We have, of course, Stephanie Havel, the wonderful, the infamous, the great Sparkles. Stephanie Havel, Wells Fargo. How are you doing?
Always kind to me, Jason. Thank you. I'm happy to be here. I always get excited every time I'm like, oh, I get to hang out with my friends again.
It is fun.
That's
and we have Nate Nelson with Mesley and Kramer. How you doing, Nate?
Excellent. Thank you for having me on.
Yes, welcome back. So, start off the show, we always give a market update, and then we get into the topic of real estate. I wanted to just do a quick conversation or topic about, or maybe even a monologue, about how we end our show. So, every show, we end our show and we say, love yourself and love others. And it's been increasingly difficult lately, at least it seems like, if you watch Facebook or if you're on Facebook, to... Doesn't seem like people are loving themselves or loving others. I don't know. Something's going on. So
they might be loving themselves, but they're not loving others.
That could be.
Opinions.
And it gets very heated, very emotional on both sides, with both probably having some justification for both of the sides, right? I mean, the truth is somewhere in the middle, probably, right, on both of them, but we end up getting very emotional on each side, and then it causes a lot of problems. And people get really angry, and they lash out, or they sever relationships, or even marriages. I'm hearing from colleagues that marriages are contentious right now because of post-election
so many people
topics.
are so emotional about it. It's just amazing.
And it's tricky. But so here's what I want to say. Just make sure when you go on, and I'm guilty of this and everybody, you get on Facebook and you see a post, keep in mind what's going on. What Facebook and what the news and what these people that feed these stories are trying to do. All they're trying to do is incite and create an emotional response. So they're going to have a headline that may not be 100% accurate. And this is on the right and on the left. They're going to use language that causes people to get their emotions stirred against the other side. And somewhere, when you filter between all of it, you will find what's really going on. And reality is, none of us probably even have a clue of the reality of what's going on when you're in the Oval Office or what's going on.
Right.
I mean, do we even really want to know, is the question sometimes. Do you really want to know what is really going on?
Somebody wrote an article, and I wish I would have saved it. It was just the other day, and it was about really actually how this is all kind of like a marketing ploy. It's like what they do, kind of like a... shock
the
and awe
media
type
is a
of thing.
marketing tool,
right?
yeah.
Well, it's they throw these things out there. They do these things just to like kind of deflect or just say something that's totally crazy out there, and then that's not really what the case. I should find that article and who wrote it. It was really interesting.
It is interesting, but here's the point of that is, and also we love the other thing about Facebook and social media, which I think is great in a way, but it also kind of saddens me, is it gives everybody the feeling that they have a semi-celebrity status. They're an influencer of some way, shape, or form. So by posting about yourself or taking a picture of yourself protesting, you're doing something, you're showing that you have some sort of celebrity status or influence. So it empowers people, which is great, but sometimes it goes a little over the top, I would say, where people are using it a little too much, and their actual cause that they're trying to help, they, instead of focusing on the cause that they're trying to help, it's all about them and their protest. And look at me, I'm here. Take your, that you can, how you really influence people slowly, and it takes a much longer process, is helping people individually, one-on-one. You're going to have, and that gradually will fulfill through grassroots, if you will, helping others and donating your time and doing something constructive. And not that protesting is bad and wrong and shouldn't be done, but try to take some of that energy and put it into actual real causes of actually helping people one-on-one and going and helping a community that you think you're protesting for. Or actually, and people are doing this, don't get me wrong, but a lot of people don't seem to be doing that. They just seem to be saying, hey, look at me. I'm doing this, and it's about them showing off that they're protesting versus the actual cause of the protest.
Well,
But that's my opinion. But with that, love yourself and love others. I want to make sure we round back to that.
And just,
regardless
one
of
quick
your
word. Yeah, when people are out there on social media, I mean, we know, we're in the professional world, and, more so these young millennials is employers still look at that information. I've talked to my team members. I mean, and, I'm very conscious of it at Wells Fargo. I mean, I'd like to be able to share things of, about my family and friends, but I just choose to, remain commentless on a lot of those things because you just don't want to somebody feel, it's what the views, I think they even say it on our commercial, the views and the comments expressed in this show don't necessarily, so sometimes people need to consider that when they're posting on Facebook.
And the other thing is there always has to be a villain, right? So for the right, Obama was the villain. Everything was pinned on Obama. Now it's completely flipped. Trump is the villain. So we grow up and trained and through movies and maybe through our lives and maybe even religions and whatnot that there's always a bad guy and a good guy or a bad gal and a good gal. So now we have our villain, or the left has their villain, and that's what they're going to do. But it's going to be like this for a long time. So I would say, know that it's going to be like this for a long time. There's going to be they're trying to incite emotion and create tension and conflict. Try to not let that affect your personal relationships, especially your close family relationships, if you can, and let it go. Like the song, right? Maybe we'll roll a little "Let It Go" on our way out of the segment. But anyway,
and Jason, maybe this is a segue a little bit off of your point, but to pick up from what Stephanie just said, we literally do see cases in our employment law group where employees call in sick, and then we notice all the Facebook postings about their day, and it used to be the fear would be go to a baseball game and you're on the jumbotron. Well, now this Facebook too. I guess just be careful when you use it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and how you use it. And it's so tempting when you're right there to be like, oh, I'm so mad, and you just go off, right? I mean, it's not the time maybe to do it all the time anyway. So anyway, with that, that's the monologue. But
who's the villain in the real estate market? Maybe we'll talk about is it the Fed raising the funds rate, or who is it? The sellers that won't sell their house?
That reminds me of an update. So quick overall market update. Dawn will get into the local market update, but Elliot Eisenberg had an update. The Fed will leave interest rates unchanged at the meeting that just ended, and I expect no rate rise in March. However, the Fed should raise rates then in March, even though they're not going to. Relatedly, we must simultaneously estimate if the boost to the economy from deficit spending is weakened due to other Trump policies. So he thinks they should raise it in March, but they're not going to in his prediction, and he doesn't think they're going to until June or July.
Yeah.
So
they didn't just this last time.
Yep. They did just recently. They did not the other day. So anyway, that's overall
great
market
news for buyers.
And for investors, if you have commercial stuff like that. So what's happening on the local?
They're buyers too, aren't they?
Yes, exactly.
And for sellers.
But maybe
it's great news for everybody.
A good spring market.
Yeah. Well, it's already picking up.
It's here. It's already here.
Not according to the
Punxsutawney Philly saw a shadow the other day. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well,
spring isn't here, but spring market is here.
Spring market. Right. Yes. We should come up with a mascot for the real estate and lending world that comes up and predicts if we're going to have a good spring.
If the market's going to be good or not. If Jason's
figure something
you want to
out.
do that, Dawn? You could dress up and be a
what am I going to dress up as?
A princess, an angel. What do you think?
I could be Elsa from Frozen.
Yes,
there we go. That's a little kind of
But the spring market is already here, folks.
One of our economists told us on a call the other day that just get past the Super Bowl. When the Super Bowl's over, everything is ready to go. It's like people are kind of hunkered down past Christmas, but the Super Bowl ignites people and the commercials and everything.
But here's the thing, it's already ignited.
It's already ignited.
Right.
It might be the Trump effect.
Oh my gosh, if it goes even higher after the Super Bowl, it's going to be complete craziness. Already a year to date, this time from last year, new listings have increased 12.8%, which is awesome.
Yep.
Pending sales increased 4%, which is great news from this time last year. And then inventory, once again, decreased 25.3%.
So isn't that
now
crazy?
We're at 8,000. Yeah, decreased.
So new listings increased by 12%, but yet inventory still decreased.
Yeah.
So we're not catching up, folks. The buyers are buying them more at a quicker rate than the homes are coming on the market. So again, sellers, call us and have us out. And, what's the phrase? It doesn't have to be perfect. Yeah. A plan moving forward is better than waiting for perfection or a perfect plan.
Right.
So if you're waiting for your home to be perfect, or you want to do have everything 100% right, just move forward, and you can actually get away with a lot more now, I would say.
Well, and I think I was going to read the statistics here from one of our Wells Fargo newsletters, and many existing homeowners are hesitant to put their homes in the market because they fear they won't be able to find a home to move into. And then also
there are homes out there still, though.
Right. Well, and the other thing is, which we see on our end, is a lot of our clients took advantage of the really low rates. Yep. And so, happy as a client, I'm like, why do I want to move out of this house with this rate into another house when rates have gone up a little bit? But the fact that they can
very little bit.
Yeah. Well, the fact that really though the flip side is take the equity out of the home, take advantage of that, and you can put it down and still have an affordable payment on a new house where you're gonna go for a lifetime. So.
Yeah. So I've got a pre-list coming on over in Southwest Minneapolis. It's over by Grass Lake, and I just want to touch on it real quick because we know the inventory is low. You can't find your perfect house. This house, the sellers have already gotten plans to do a second-story addition. Now, they've decided that they wanted to move to a different city. That's the only reason why the house is coming on the market. Mm-hmm. With that second-story addition, you'd have full-on views of Grass Lake. The house, it's a one-story, beautiful, gorgeous updates, fantastic kitchen. But I was thinking you can contact Stephanie or one of her people at Wells Fargo, apply for a renovation loan, buy under your price point, do that second story addition. The house is going on at $375,000. It's available for showings now. Give us a call. First of all, get pre-approved for a renovation loan through Wells Fargo.
Yep.
Well, and how awesome is that they already have the whole drawings and everything like that.
Exactly,
so,
that's
because
rare.
I always talk about that. It's for me, I'm not that type of person to be able to envision it, but to how great, and then to be able to say, you could this is the house we want. And then with renovation financing, we roll all those costs, whether it's cabinets, window treatments, paint, the second bedroom, the bathroom, everything can be thrown into that, and then we get the future value. So
well, and the house is fantastic as is, but if you want a really big house, you can always do that on this one.
And why not do it at the time while they lock into the rates instead of trying to do it afterwards and renovation? So we can talk more about that later also after the break.
So on Grass Lake, if you're familiar, that's near Penn Avenue, north of 62, west of 35. Great area in South Minneapolis. And you can have a view of the lake with the second story addition. It'd be very,
you have them off the back right now, but
great.
Yeah.
So give us a shout if you have any questions or need anything. 651-400-0773. 651-400-0773. And stay tuned, folks.